You know, life in the palace always felt more like a giant pharmacy to me than a palace. Every corner was filled with scents, strong perfumes, incense smoke, the smell of sugar-coated sweets, and sometimes even traces of mild poisons. So, when I first entered the Pomegranate Palace, the first thing that hit me was a fragrance that hovered in the air like dust. This scent was different from anything I had ever smelled in the palace. Heavy, suffocating. If you took a deep breath, it felt like your throat would fill and your chest would grow heavy. Dark red curtains hung from the ceiling, like thick dangling flames. The candlelight filtered through them, bathing the room in the color of blood. And in the midst of all that redness and sharp scent, she was sitting there. Loran-He, the official wife of the emperor. Everyone said she came from a great lineage. Her face was buried under layers of makeup, as if she never wanted anyone to see her real face. Her lips were painted like poisonous flowers, her eyes shadowed in black, and her skin, I don't know, even from a distance, I could sense something hidden beneath that artificial makeup. Other women, when approaching her, were either enchanted or cautious, but I felt more like there was a thick mask between us. Her smile was like that of a statue, motionless, soulless, yet dangerous. At that moment, I thought to myself, this woman is hiding something. No, she's hiding herself. From that day on, every time I went to the Pomegranate Palace for some task, that heavy scent wrapped around my neck like an invisible hand. And every time, those cold eyes of Loran-He. But it became even stranger when Shin-Sui entered the scene. The first time I saw him, I thought he was just an ordinary maid. But no, there was something peculiar in his behavior. Calm, meticulous, precise. When he held something, he looked at it as if reading its secrets. Once, when he was talking about an insect, I saw a strange spark in his eyes, a spark that reminded me of Loran. His gaze, those moments when everyone thought she was just smiling at her surroundings, and, strangest of all, the scent. When Shin-Sui passed by me, the same fragrance that had filled the Pomegranate Palace lingered in my nose. Not as strong, but unmistakably the same. A distinct scent I could never forget. I've always followed clues through scents. Poisons, medicines, even people can be identified by smell. At that moment, a shiver ran through me. Why would a maid like Shin-Sui carry the scent of the emperor's wife? The answer was simple, they were connected somehow. One day, as I passed by Shin-Sui, his hand slipped out from under his sleeve. I saw a narrow scar. My eyes widened instinctively. I had seen that scar before. Where? I remembered. Once, when Loran-He was sitting in front of a mirror applying fresh makeup, her sleeve had shifted, revealing the same scar on her hand. The moment this image clicked in my mind, a cold sensation ran down my spine. Scars don't lie. One can change their face, their clothes, their voice, but scars always reveal the truth. From then on, I was certain. Loran-He and Shin-Sui had a secret connection. Perhaps they were even the same person. At night, sitting in my small room in the palace with an oil lamp lit, all these signs circled my mind like shadows. Loran, his suspicious absences. Shin, Sui's unexplained appearances. The similarity in their smiles, that same scent, that same scar. The more I thought, the more certain I became. But something was still missing. I had to wait, because masks only reveal the truth when they fall. And I have patience. Days passed, and every movement of Loran-He and Shin-Sui felt like a puzzle to me. The palace was full of unwanted sounds, endless whispers of the servants, even the footsteps of knights on cold stone corridors, all helping me trace the truth. One afternoon, when the sunlight streamed golden through colored glass, casting colored patches on the stone floor, I saw Loran-He leave the palace without anyone noticing. No one saw, no one knew. Even the maids, always alert, said nothing. Only I watched from behind a column, my heart racing. She went to Sui-Li, the place where she had once forged her identity. My mind spun. Why here again? And why without anyone knowing? From a distance, her movement seemed strange, as if she was working for someone else. Every step was precise and careful. I realized a bigger plan was in motion. In Sui-Li, everything was different. The smell of wet earth, the lantern smoke, the dark spaces lit only by small lights, it was unlike the palace. Here, Loran-He, or rather, Shin-Sui, moved skillfully, carrying out a precise plan to kidnap Maomao. At that moment, realizing what was about to happen, fear and excitement mingled. Every flicker of a candle, every gust of wind felt like a warning. I felt one step closer to the truth with every detail. Then I saw the game truly begin. Shin-Sui secured his mask and moved with careful precision, managing people and situations flawlessly. In that moment, I understood. Not only the Emperor's wife, not only a maid, but a skilled agent with a hidden goal. I, Maomao, observed everything closely. Every step, every glance, every hand movement, all pointed to a major event unfolding. Meanwhile, small but significant things happened. A suspicious package appeared, some servants vanished, whispers of a Shishen rebellion circulated. All pieces of a puzzle that only together revealed the full picture. And I was the only one who saw all these pieces. Shin-Sui continued his plan, keeping everything to himself. Every move was calculated, nothing left to chance. This became clear when I saw her reappear in the palace like a cold, silent shadow, just as Shin-Sui had disappeared. The moment I saw these two masks together, I held my breath. The truth blazed in my eyes. They were one person. The air was heavy as I stepped toward Sui-Li. Morning mist, soft yet suffocating, covered the ground and muffled every sound except my heart pounding like a drum. With each step, the smell of wet earth, burnt wood, and a mysterious fragrance unlike any palace scent grew stronger. Sui-Li was full of twists and turns, low-hidden buildings, every corner brimming with secrets. Shin-Sui moved like a shadow, every step precise and swift. Maids, servants, even local guards were influenced without realizing who was commanding from behind the scenes. That moment I realized my kidnapping was just an excuse. Shin-Sui, with his usual precision, had orchestrated a bigger game. The real goal, controlling the flow of power and secrets of the Shi clan. Every move, every gesture, meticulously planned. As I approached, I saw a strange package on a table, filled with documents well hidden from everyone. Each sheet I touched seemed to connect my hands to strange and dangerous secrets. Meanwhile, Loran-He appeared in the palace calmly and indifferent. But I, fully alert, realized that this calm was just a mask. The truth behind it, Shin-Sui. When this truth fully hit my eyes, the ground beneath me seemed to shake. Hours passed as Shin-Sui's game continued. Every step, every gesture, every glance at me showed that she was not only the Emperor's wife, but also a ruthless, precise strategist. Unpredictable, and that made her terrifying. But I, Maomao, was always attentive. Every hand movement, every shadow, every scent I analyzed, everything. And when the moment of kidnapping arrived, everything was ready for Shin-Sui. I was trapped in a dark room, with dim lantern light casting giant shadows. Shin-Sui's footsteps approached, measured and controlled. When the dim light fell on her face, I realized this was the woman, the mask, the shadow I had been tracking. The kidnapping was clean and quiet. Shin-Sui lifted me silently, each movement calculated. I felt not just my body, but my thoughts were in her hands. There was no doubt. Everything was designed, from light to sound, from scent to movement. When we reached Sui-Li, everything was ready. Hidden rooms, secret documents, precise plans. Shin-Sui sat calmly, her gaze sharp as a sword. She said, "Maomao, it's time for you to see the truth." And I, with all my senses alert, understood. This story wasn't just about my kidnapping, but about power, betrayal, and an identity only I could perceive. After that dark, misty day in Sui-Li, everything changed. I, Maomao, sat in the dark room, watching Shin-Sui, the same Loran-He who had removed her mask. The lantern light fell on her face, her shadows dancing on the walls. Every moment, every movement was full of mystery.